Hello, everyone. Welcome to Today y Mañana. I'm Alex. This is Xavier. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to have a great show for you today. We will have food here. We will have sweets here, I should say, in particular. It's not just food, it is sweets, which for those who know us, I mean, Jerry caught me the other day. I have a sweet tooth. And let's just say I inherited this sweet tooth.
From whom?
So I can't imagine from whom. We'll find out in about 10 minutes when we're interviewing Claudia, and all you're going to be able to hear is Xavier eating cookies on air. So it's going to be fantastic. We're going to have Claudia Cruz from Dulce De Leche. She's the owner and baker of this fantastic business here in Charlottesville. She's going to join us shortly. She's going to see the amazing things she creates. Learn a bit about Latino entrepreneurship, how she's growing her business here. So it's going to be really fantastic to have her on. Later on in the show, please share today's show. Share it with Latino entrepreneurs you know, with sole proprietors you know, restaurateurs you know. We're going to have resources and information on the new round of Paycheck Protection Program that is explicitly for these smaller businesses. For if you're a restaurant, if you have less than 300 employees.
Less than 20, I think it's
less than 20 employees, you are being, prioritized in this segment of Paycheck Protection, and it ends March 9th. So we're going to have that news, so please do share.
Well, the important thing is that there's going to be webinars. So the webinars are literally starting today and running through the weekend. So it's important.
So we're going to share when these webinars are, where you can know. You're going to see me put in the comments on the Today Mañana website. We'll put in this information so you can share it with everyone you know to really get this word out. It's going to be really important, I think, in these next few days to make sure that no one misses out on this round, that this is specifically for them. So that's going to be coming later in the show along with Claudia. We're going to start, though, with some themes.
Well,
and so, I mean,
is that how it starts?
The
important thing is how did this get going, right?
How did this get going? So tell us a little bit, what led you? Because you came to me the other day and said,
this is important for you because I know you get on top of me. But so on Sunday when Father Matthew was doing his sermon, just to see I was listening, right? So he listening
at church.
I do that. Maybe sometimes you don't think I am, but I am. So he mentioned that, as you know, before the sermon there are 3 readings. And so he mentioned that these 3 readings basically have a kind of rotation of 3 years. So at the end of the 3 years, those particular readings start all over again, right? Of course, and then there's the sermon that go for 3 readings. Of course, I'm sitting there and saying, boy, if I'm a priest, I kind of go to the old files, dust them off, and say, here you go, same sermon. Who's going to remember, right? But anyway, but they don't do that, right? They're good. So he mentioned that you can, in the sermon, you could talk about the first reading, the second reading, or third reading, or there's a theme around them all that they can focus on. And that brought to attention some of the things that we do, right? I'm saying because when you think about what we do for clients from a perspective of investing, right? We invest for their retirement, for their long-term goals, whether it be, again, buying a house, buying a car, long-term goals, retirement. The important thing is the foundation, right? There's a foundation of investments that need to be done. And actually, we were just talking about this before, even with Judah, right? In other words, you can't time the market. You can't say, boy, the market's going down, let me get out, and I'll get in at the right time. That's almost impossible. If you look at the history of the markets, and you miss like the best 5 to 10 days of the market, literally about 30 or 40% of the returns are gone.
Yeah.
So you have to be in it, like they say in lottery. You have to be in it to win it, right? So the important thing is, though, in addition to that, there are times where there are certainly themes that come to play that we talk about, right? We talk about on Monday mornings. We say, all right, what are some of the things that we're learning, we're thinking about? And we talk about those themes. And, you'll go back in history and you'll see that there are times where it's important to think about not just what happened in the past, but looking out towards the future.
What's going to happen?
What's going to happen? And what do we think is going to happen? And do we want to take some of those investments that are long-term and say, here's an area of the marketplace that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm willing to go into this idea, this theme.
Exactly.
Instead of just, I think sometimes it can be tempting to just think of individual stocks rather than themes. You'll sit there and say, I think this is a great company, or my friend told me about this company, let me go in on this. And we're not saying never to do that, but I think sometimes what people miss on that is sometimes there's a theme there that is really driving what your friend is telling you or why you think this company is going to do well. And so the question is, what's the best way to translate the theme the real idea into a successful execution.
Exactly.
Like, how do I actually make money off this great idea
Exactly.
that I have?
And
And sometimes that involves more than one company. It involves the whole concept itself and looking at different ways to explore that concept.
That's right. And a perfect example, 2020 was a perfect example of that, right? So it's a biotech, right? If you think of the biotech industry, in essence, that's an industry that has taken off, let's say over the last 5 to 10 years, but in particular last year. And why? The technology that is available today through computers allows you really to take a product and try to figure out how to best, recompose or recompute. I mean, I don't know enough about biotechnology, but how do you make that work? I mean, the coronavirus vaccine is a perfect example. What used to take 5 years, I mean, they did that in a very short period of time. And why? Because they had information, and they're able then to emulate that through computers and come up with a solution. So there's an area that is, I don't know. I mean, the biotech index has how many companies would you say?
Almost 300.
230. So can you find that one star in that one? Can you say, here's the one I want to invest in and get it wrong? Or do you say, is a theme? That's in other words, that's a theme that we think that over the long run, the biotechnology sector makes sense.
It does.
Right?
And it's about finding that once you believe in the theme or believe in the idea, you want to have as much access to the idea as possible. You don't want to be saying, there's nothing worse than you'll see sometimes. There's nothing worse than having the theme correct and then saying, oh, goodness, I picked the one stock that didn't work. Like, I was right, the theme was great, biotechnology took off, but this company, their CEO didn't do a great job, or somebody got arrested for fraud. And the one company...
we don't talk about that.
That's the thing we don't like to talk about, but it happens. And you're like,
absolutely.
Oh, goodness, the one company I picked failed, so I didn't actually make any money on the theme that I was thinking.
Exactly.
And so that's why even within themes, you want to have that diversification. You want to always ask yourself, what's the best way to get exposure to the theme?
That's right.
What's the best way to have access to the theme? And it's not, a lot of times it's not just picking one thing. And it works, I think this is true in a lot of areas of life, even in business, right? You never sit there and say, I have a business, I'm going to offer this one product. I'm good at all these things, but I'm going to sell this one thing and only this. And because it could be someone out there saying, well, I love the theme, I love your idea, but just one thing I don't like.
Exactly.
And so you want to diversify.
It's so important. It's so important. And we've seen that happen. And let's be honest, I mean, it's happened to all of us. I mean, in the sense of, I remember one time where, I think this was, I don't remember, it was after 2008, and I think just about everybody under the sun said interest rates are going to rise now, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm sitting there and saying, no, they're going to go down, right? And so, so I was lucky, right? So interest rates came down big. And so,
I mean, we had to do that to sell the company. We were
good.
That's
right, yeah. We were really good. And so you said, what did you benefit from? I said, no, I was going to buy a 30-year zero, but then I kind of chickened out. And there's a situation where I knew I believed in what I saw. I mean, what I was seeing in the marketplace, what I was seeing the Federal Reserve doing. I said, there's no way interest rates are going up. They're going to come down. But instead of going there and saying, okay, what's the best way to take advantage of interest rates coming down, which, let's face it, a 30-year zero coupon bond is the best way to do that, unless you buy futures. But
let's not go there.
I didn't do it, so I lost that opportunity. But the issue is that when you think about something that you like, as you mentioned, when you think about a particular sector of the market, whether it be, again, biotechs, would be clean energy, would be robotics, would be whatever it may be, right? You might be thinking that there's an area that is extremely attractive, or you think it's going to grow. The important thing is not to look for that just one company. I mean, you can, as you said. I mean, you've talked about this before. In other words, you have a portfolio, and maybe a portion of portfolio you say, I'm going to use that portion for speculative, right?
2%,
exactly. I'm going to play with
I'm going to bet this.
Exactly,
yeah.
and so you can buy the one company. But if you really believe in something, the important thing is make sure you diversify in that sector, right? So that it grows, so that no matter what, you've captured enough companies in there that truly took off and did what they were supposed to do. And then, there'll be those that don't make it. I mean, we've seen that in history. There's been many companies. When Apple came on, there were a lot of companies, Google, Apple, Microsoft. There was a lot of other companies that were there.
There's ones that, the problem is, like in the .com boom, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, we see the survivors today. The survivors today are the ubiquitous names,
Exactly.
the ones that everyone knows where they are. The problem is the ones that didn't survive, nobody
You can't
knows their
remember
names.
their names. That's
you
right.
can't even remember
That's
them.
right.
That's how.
That's right.
That's what happened to them because they went completely bust.
Exactly.
And there's nothing left of them. I mean, the only one I remember is MySpace, the one that used to be similar to Facebook.
Facebook, that's right.
I mean, so if you had to pit, right? If you were, let's say you were right on the theme, you said, this social media pages, let's do this. But you sat there and said, MySpace is the winner. I'm going to put 100% into MySpace. Well, you lost out
on that one. That's
on
right.
Facebook.
And I remember that too.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing about investing, though, is something can only go down. I mean, if you're doing the things the right way and you're only just buying stock, right? Something can only go down 100%. When it goes down 100%, the company is bankrupt.
Right.
And you can't lose any more money, right? But something can go up more than 100%. So if you think about it, if you put 50% of your money in MySpace and 50% of your money in Facebook, because you said, I don't know which one's the winner, I just know I believe in social media as a new idea, right? You've made a fortune because, yeah, even though your 50% in MySpace may have gone bust, you got more than 100% gain on Facebook from its initial origin.
Exactly.
So the upside is tremendous. So a lot of times you don't have to fear like, well, if I'm splitting my money over all these stocks and only one of them is going to be the winner, doesn't that mean I lost on all the others? And it doesn't necessarily work that way. It's not a zero-sum game where by investing and diversifying, you're automatically going to lose money on certain ones. You may make enough on the winners that you're no longer worried about the ones that didn't make it. But the key is that you want to be in on the ones that succeed. When you have the idea that you believe in, you want to put yourself in a position where you benefit if that idea turns out to be correct, right? And the only way to do that is to really put your eggs in multiple baskets.
That's
so
right.
If you put it all in one, you could say, the baskets, all my eggs were beautiful, but the basket had a hole in it. And now I lost all my eggs.
That's right. Well, you just buy one egg and it cracks.
I'll buy one egg.
That's an egg cycle. Okay.
This egg is
I still
cracked.
got 11. There you are. I'm good to go.
The chicken was great, but the one
That's
egg
right,
is
that's
cracked. So it's all about really putting yourself in a position to succeed, I think.
No, that's so important. The important thing is to again, think about what you're doing and act on your expertise and also act on your, what's coming to your what's that word when you have a feeling, your
Intuition.
There you are.
gut.
Your intuition, your gut. Act on that because it could be right. Just don't be silly and only buy one particular of
Exactly.
it.
And be willing to lean on the expertise of others. There's nothing wrong with asking for assistance, saying what's the best way to go about this. I have this idea. How do I turn this idea into something actionable, something that I can actually take steps and put my money in?
That's right. Exactly.
That's what financial professionals are for you to ask their advice. They're not. We don't.
That's what we're here for.
That's what
right?
we're here for.
That's right. That's what we breathe and live every day. Exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean, just like Claudia, right? She puts all her heart into making desserts, right? We put our heart into looking for
Financial
opportunities for our
services.
clients, right?
Speaking we already have some comments coming in. We've got Sally M. Chavez Bejar. Claudia, todos tus fans estamos orgullosos de ti. We've got Olga Morse in Puerto Rico. But we're going to introduce Claudia first before I ask this question. So we're joined here by Claudia Cruz. She is the owner and baker of Dulce De Leche here in Charlottesville, from Peru, correct?
Yes.
Right, and so she makes incredible desserts here. I mean, alfajores, we tasted them
When you
last week.
any bakery that's called themselves Dulce De Leche has to be good, right? I mean, if the main ingredient is Dulce De Leche, everything else just kind of has to fall into place, right?
Yes.
Claudia, welcome. Good to have you
Thank
on.
you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you guys for allowing me here in your show. It's what a great spot. So a little bit about me.
Absolutely.
So I am from Peru, as Alex mentioned. I grew up. I was born and raised in Peru until the age of 15, and then my mom and my stepdad came over to Virginia, and we came here when I was 15 years old. I went to CHS. I started my journey here in America. at the age of 15 with just my mom and my stepdad. And then later, a couple years, maybe 2 or 3 years later, I met my, I wouldn't say high school sweetheart, but I would say very young a partner, lover that we've been together for so many years. And he's my rock. So, so we met, and then I have 2 kids.
Awesome.
I have, I bought a home. So like life is really working out for us, and I feel really thankful for everything that is going on. Then I was able to continue my education because my goal is to be a teacher, an elementary teacher, or most likely a kindergarten teacher. So I'm going to Mary Botwind, and then COVID hit.
Right.
Which was great for some students because I get to dedicate all my time to study and be a mom. But I also noticed that I was not bringing in any income. So that's where Dulce De Leche came from.
So you do all that, and you have time to bake too. That's amazing.
Yes.
2 kids, a husband, and baking.
Yes,
That's a busy
I study
household.
at night. I study and bake at night, and then most of the day I'm like, doing house things.
We've got more comments coming in. You're bringing them in. We have Patricia Venegas says, "Bravo, Clau." Thank you, Patricia, for watching our show. Olga Morse from Puerto Rico, where it is a sunny 79 degrees.
Oh, she had to put that in.
She had to put that in. She had to put that in.
I have to talk to her about that.
Olga Morse, founder of Forward Adelante Latino Networking Alliance. She wants to know Claudia's recipe for Dulce De Leche. She wants the secrets immediately.
She wants the secret. She wants me to say it live. Maybe I can send it to you
show.
privately.
I'll ask a slightly different question. I'll ask, did you always have a passion for baking?
Yes.
And sharing your culture in this way?
What a great question. Yeah, so when I was very young, my grandma she's not like a baker or anything, and I love sweets. So at a very young age, when I was 12, I would make the alfajor dough, and I would make it really bad. So I had many years to practice until a couple of, maybe 5 years, I found my own recipe in my own way that I was like, this is the one. And yeah, I mean, I had to learn all at home. I would, like you would see kids making experiments. That was me, like in the kitchen. Yeah.
Instead of your
maybe while you go get the cookies, because I'm starting to salivate here.
You're starting to salivate?
I can ask
you.
You
can ask. Yeah,
I can ask you a quick question.
I'm going to grab some of
and
those cookies to show.
So for those that don't understand what Dulce De Leche is, I mean, can you just tell us a little bit about how Dulce De Leche becomes Dulce De Leche, right?
Yeah. So when I started. When COVID hit, basically, I was working in the catering events, and so those were shut down, and I was forced to create something. COVID really forced me to bring income from somewhere. So my birthday hit, and I baked alfajores for my birthday because I didn't feel like having cake. Then I posted it online, and people were like, "Oh, can you make me some?" And I was like, "Okay, sure, I'll make it." And then, like, literally without a week or two, I was having orders, like at least 6 to 10 orders every week, and I was like, "Wow, this could be an opportunity."
Absolutely.
And I mean, it basically happened because people really close to me, like my friends, my family, like my Facebook friends from Charlottesville, they made it happen. They really supported me through this journey. Johnny was here last week,
right.
And his wife is Peruvian, and she really helped me out a lot to get this.
Fantastic.
Yeah, she really bought a lot. Basically, she loves them. So I mean, there's people like her that really want to help out people, and so I'm really thankful for the people who really show me that there's other ways to make money from home. And I mean, I was so stressed out of my mind. I was like, how am I supposed to leave my kids at home and go to work? There's no day. I mean, I couldn't pay for daycare, but then the whole thing, it was just so complicated, let's say. So I I was forced to create a name for the company, and that is when I started crafting ideas. I was like, Claudia's Bakery. And then I was like, something more like sweet, and I bake with sweets, and I wanted to create this company with everything that has Dulce De Leche, and I wanted people to get to know Dulce De Leche more, and not just caramel, but also I was going towards the other way of manjar blanco, because that is manjar, is what we call it in Peru. It's not dulce de leche. Dulce de leche is more like Central America or here in the United States.
Cuba, Puerto Rico.
In Cuba, it's
Yes.
dulce de leche.
Exactly.
So, but because it's so popular, and I love the name Dulce de Leche, it
Oh,
just
it's a
really
great name.
sounded
It rolls off the
really
tongue.
good.
Flows right off to the and in the tongue too. It flows right back in the tongue too.
You know, when I say I just want to eat it all. That's like
true.
I really felt attached to it, and that's how the name was created. It really came out from my heart.
That's awesome. Oh, I think your mom is watching. We have Utulmana de Dosen Andeli. I'm so proud for my daughter.
Yes, that's my mom.
Thank you for
Mom.
joining us. Thank you for watching.
Well, and what I was going to say, here's the situation where COVID hits, right? And that goes to show you the opportunities that this country provides, right? I mean, obviously the internet and social media created
always.
also this, but the opportunity for somebody like Claudia to say, I need to make some money. I need to do something for my family, and have the opportunity to create something like this, reach out to people that she knows, right? And then those people reach out to people they know, and there goes the
Beautiful
business.
word of mouth power.
Absolutely.
What was it like at the beginning, I guess, starting your company in like that kind of environment, the COVID pandemic environment? I'm going to start a new company.
It was quite scary, but the good thing is I didn't have to like invest in a restaurant.
Right.
Everything is homemade. So like, I mean, eventually we want to make it more available for like other bigger, maybe even, we're not thinking quite of a restaurant, but we're thinking more like a truck or something.
Okay.
So we're going towards
Fantastic.
that direction, but because everything, I didn't have to invest. It was just like, it was really scary, because I was like, what if people don't like it? That was my my thought. And then I wanted to like also point out that like Facebook and social media was like a really big help. I mean,
Right.
I was not able to do this if it was like, let's say 10 or 15 years ago. Like it was just not possible. The people were not like so much online, and like pictures really help and all of that. But Facebook and was a really great advertisement to just create a company, to create a page, and just like boom, there you go.
And I assume Instagram too, right? 'Cause
Yes,
Instagram's all
Instagram.
about pictures,
I have
right?
Instagram too. Yes, I have
Because that's all
Instagram too.
pictures, boy. You see.
What are some of the ways you do it? Like, how do you use Facebook and Instagram? What are some of the strategies that you use to market yourself through the social media?
I'm quite still learning, but my techniques are almost like just posting pictures as often as possible. Do not to let my business slack, or just like always be attentive to it in like the social media side, because that's where I get most of my clients. I use a little bit of advertisement. I pay for a little bit of advertisement from Facebook because they offer it. It's also very affordable to do it that
interesting.
way. And what else? Yeah.
Those are the major things. Tell us a little bit about what we have here. I want to pass some of these cookies over to my dad. Tell us about some of these incredible things you have while I show them to the
So those are
to
the
camera.
cookies,
Oh,
right?
yeah, alfajores. Oh, we also have the
Oh.
Pio Nono is the roll.
Yes.
Pio nono.
Pio no.
So nono is
Pio nono is like a brazo gitano.
Brazo gitano.
Most know, but it's very
Can I
common.
even pass
Oh,
that?
of course, yes, it's all yours.
Thank you, Al.
Yeah. But yeah, so the alfajores are, they contain flour, cornstarch is what it makes them so soft, and then sugar and the dulce de leche inside. And then the pionono is a very, it's almost like an egg-based cake where you have to like really fluffen it up. And then just a little bit of flour, a little bit of sugar, and then you spread the dulce de leche and you roll it, and here comes a very soft and moist cake. that can be shared for like birthdays, or just like you can have the little box for yourself as like a little weekend treat or whatever.
Yeah,
If you wanna
Xavier's
break
thinking
diet.
the little
Oh,
box
we could
for
treat that
myself.
like that idea.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, but for you, it's like, what, a 1 hour treat? And
Yeah,
then you're
yeah,
like,
yeah, if that long.
if it makes it that long.
Yeah, and then the chocolate cake is like our brand new product of this month. I have not even posted on my page.
Awesome. Also, well, I think our fans, so you can't see it here, but everyone watching is seeing the chocolate cake picture roll on the screen.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Judah's he has the photos that are going to rotate.
The cake has a lot of history for me. It's one of my favorite cakes from back home. I would go with my mom to the bakery, and that was the only sweet I would ask.
Wow.
I would only get when I was a child, and for me to like learn how to make it, it was quite a pleasure. I had a little taste last night, and I was like, my childhood, like like that taste when you taste back to your childhood, and you're thinking of all those good memories that you had. But basically, it's made with homemade fudge and Dulce De Leche. And,
Wow.
A very soft and moist cake.
It looks soft and moist. I'm looking at it right now. Like, why did I not bring a bunch of forks?
Use your fingers. I
Use
just told you, use your fingers.
Use your fingers.
That's what the shirt's for. You go like this, right? Afterwards.
Wipe it off here. Oh, we have more. So Cristel Donkers Tuerper says, Claudia is amazing, a wonderful friend, mother, wife, so much passion, and she will accomplish wonderful things. Thank you for watching, Cristel.
Thank you.
And then I think we have, Olga says we owe her that recipe. I said, Olga. Johnny
She's
Ornelas. Johnny Ornelas wants to try that. He needs to try that chocolate cake. He's telling Philadelphia that she needs to order that
Yes,
chocolate cake.
I'll come by today and bring you some.
And your kids say hello, Mom, according to your mom.
Oh, yay.
It's wonderful. So what advice might you give to like other entrepreneurs that are aspiring to like maybe start their own business, especially if they're like Latina entrepreneurs and they're saying, I have something I really like to do. What advice would you give them?
For anybody, I would just, encourage them to be brave and to take the step forward if you have an idea and it's right there in the back of your head and you're like, I really want to do this, but I don't know how to do it. I mean, it takes just a little bit of research, and like you can do it. You can go out there and you can do anything you want as long as you feel comfortable with what you're doing. I would say I would. That's what motivated me. My partner put the little seed in my brain about this idea about a year ago. He's like, why don't you bake and sell? I was like, I don't know, that's a lot of work. Like, I kind of want to like leave the house, but that seed was planted, and it sounded so great in the back of my head, but it sounded so scary at the same time. And fear sometimes can take over, and it stopped me for a while. Until then, I was basically, COVID forced me to create this, to like bring this idea back out to the front and like say, I can do it. Like I have to work my best to bake this as delicious as possible and keep trying, even if it fails. I had a lot of fails, and I had to throw a lot of cakes away and a lot of cookies away, and especially the tres leches, it always go flat, and I'm like, But it's like that frustrating moment that you have to like focus and you got to keep going and use social media as like your way of advertising and creating your business.
So basically, it's perseverance, right? So you have a dream, and then you have to persevere, right? You have to keep going at it, because if it's a dream, you have to go for it, and you have to keep trying.
And I think overcoming that fear, I think fear paralyzes a lot of would-be entrepreneurs. Because I think it's scary to like say that that it's not like I'm not working for someone else anymore. Like the butt doesn't stop with someone else. The butt stops with me. Like it's my business. If people don't like what I'm making or they don't like our financial services, it's saying, well, that's on me. It's my business. And I think it can be tough sometimes. I know when we started to take that first step as an entrepreneur and say, you know what, I have to go past the self-doubt, past what other people may say, and say, I believe that I'm good at what I do, and I believe I can get better. I believe I can keep trying. Like you knew it was in you.
Yeah.
To do this, even if you had to work through several recipes to get there.
I mean, it was more like the confidence of like baking something that it's good. And because everything I have learned is from my childhood, and so like I wanted to bring this out. It's so unique. There's no Peruvian bakeries nowhere near around us. I mean, I don't even know if it's in Washington D.C., but like I bet a lot of Peruvians are missing that sweet treat, and I bet other people out there are willing to try something new. And when I advertise, I'm like, you want to try something new? Call me. Like I'll bring you something delicious and new, and you'll say like you went back to another country, to Peru.
Actually, I mean, I'd like to know, because I don't think there is. But is there even a Latin American bakery here in Charlottesville?
I think there's a Mexican bakery.
Mexican bakery.
Next to Guadalupana.
Okay.
But I think that's pretty much.
Yeah, because I mean, wouldn't it be nice to have maybe a brick and mortar where you have the Peruvian, you have other, Cuban, of course. I didn't want to say that; it's coming to my head,
but in your mind,
Puerto Rican,
Venezuelan.
This has to be right. I mean, and so you'd have all that together. Maybe Claudia can start that.
I would love to.
That's fantastic. So, how can people? What's the best way? If people are looking at this, they're
saying,
looking at
"I want some.
Xavier,
I need
cookie,"
some.
They're salivating and they're saying, "I am so hungry right now. I need Dulce De Leche." Where can people find you? How do people get in touch with you?
So they can find me on Facebook or Instagram at Dulce De Leche CVille. And the services that we provide is that you order and we deliver to you.
Wow.
So there's a very minimal. There's a minimum order for you to get it delivered, but if you don't have to, because you can just pay a $3 delivery fee, and you will get it to your home. I don't even have to talk to you. I just leave it on your porch, and then I text you, and you pick it up. So there's no it's all COVID,
super easy.
Yes.
COVID safe.
You don't have to leave your house. You can sit on your couch. You can put this in there.
Put the binoculars on. Is she coming yet? Where is she?
Where is my Dulce De Leche? Man, you are getting so much love. We have here. Oh, so what Olga Moore from Puerto Rico wants, she wants the tape. She wants us to mail her the tape.
Oh, Olga.
She's getting so.
Why don't you tell Olga to come here and taste the cake?
Come here and taste.
I don't know if I'll make it there.
Yeah, I'm not sure it'll make it to all the way there. Nicholas, my brother and your son, says that our mother says, Mama Urpí says to make sure we save some of these desserts for her.
I don't think it's going to make it home.
Some of this
I'm sorry, sweetie. I don't think it's making it home.
It arrives home. That's how much everyone is looking at this. Man, amazing. Just really amazing that you took this step in the middle of a pandemic.
Very brave.
And very brave to go out there. And just the passion that you have, it exudes the passion you have for these beautiful desserts that you create.
Thank you.
No, thank you. This has been wonderful. Boy, I mean, it's just coming here with these delights is a great treat to us. But to have you here and tell your story, that's even better. I take my hat off to you, because really, I mean, raising a family, I mean, we know what it's like. And, studying, working, and taking care of children and to take care of husband, that's pretty tough.
Yeah. So one last question: where do you see yourself? What's the next step for Dulce De Leche that you'd like to see maybe in a year, 2 years down the road?
I really want this dream to grow, and I really want to have a truck, a sweet bake truck with Dulce De Leche and coffee.
Oh, and coffee.
So that is we're working towards that. Me and Chris are working, we're planning, we're crafting, we're trying to get the budget, we're trying to already work towards this great dream. It's also his dream of he's also an entrepreneur. He owns his own business, and that's I think where I see him and I admire him, how he made a business from the bottom, and then I'm like, I can do that too. So
that's awesome. Dynamic
duo. He encouraged
duo.
me, and he's encouraged me to keep going and creating a sweet truck where we could sell Peruvian delights with coffee. So that is.
And the nice thing about that, you can have that any time during the day. It's not just a lunchtime or a dinner. I mean, from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, you can have a cookie and a cup of coffee. Come on.
He wants me to work 24/7.
Well, not 24/7. You got to go bake. So till midnight, and then you bake.
Then you
I mean, I think that's fair.
I'm telling you, you park that thing at 3 p.m. at UVA, and all the
Oh.
students will be like, because at 3 p.m. you hit that wall. And so,
You
at
park
least
it by
when
our
I-
offices
when I
at
hit
3
the wall-
p.m.,
heck,
that'd even be
by
better.
Our office at 3 p.m. we'll all start like coming out. Everybody's coming out of the office building. I need café con leche and I need sweets.
Yes.
And this is where I can get them. But we'll have to have you both back on. You can come
Absolutely.
with Chris.
What business
And-
is he in?
So he runs a ASAP process. He's a process server.
Okay.
And he delivers legal papers all around all around basically Virginia. I would say that
Awesome.
he
Super.
goes everywhere. So he created the business 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago. Yeah.
That's amazing.
No,
entrepreneur.
have him in one day.
Yeah, we'll have you both
Absolutely.
in.
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
Fantastic. Well,
Both
thank-
in, so they can bring some more cookies? Is that the idea?
Both. I mean,
Okay.
if we're gonna have him.
I'll
Well,
be-
I'd rather the cookies over legal papers. They're a little.
Absolutely.
I can eat the
We can leave the
cookies.
legal
I
Not,
papers
can
not
home.
the
eat them.
legal papers. You don't want that.
Yeah.
No, nobody likes him. Like, people throw him back the
So
papers.
what are you doing here, though?
Yeah, like,
I don't wanna-
what are you doing here? Get out.
Poor thing. Well, Claudia, thank you so much for joining us. It's been a real pleasure to have you
No,
here.
thank you for having me here. It's been such a joy. You guys are wonderful. Have great energy. I loved it. Thank you.
Good.
Thank you
Well,
so
thank you.
much.
And
We'll
thank
have
you.
even more energy in a few minutes.
Thank you, everybody, for supporting my business. I really appreciate it. Because of you, I will continue to grow, and thank you.
Awesome, awesome. So
This
fantastic.
is good.
Again, Dulce De Leche, find Facebook, Instagram, message, very easy to order and enjoy what we are enjoying right now.
That's what's nice about modern times. Boy, you just have to go on the computer, type a couple of things in, give them your credit card, you're done, right? I mean, you don't have to get on the car and
amazing.
drive somewhere. It's
amazing
fantastic.
how it
So
works.
it's amazing. It's amazing. But yeah, I just want to say that if I have this whole cookie, I'm going to be dancing La Marinera, which you don't even know what it is.
I don't even know what it is. I've
See,
never
I'm
seen
sure
you dance La Marinera.
I don't know how to dance it, but I'll tell you, if I have all that sugar, I'll dance it somehow.
That's mildly frightening. The thought that I do
That's right,
dance,
not
some
gonna
dance,
dance
and I'm like,
anything.
what is he going to do with this cookie? All right, speaking of entrepreneurship, we've got some important info to share. We're going to be doing this bilingual style. So basically, then this is the part. Definitely, please share this this story, not only so that everyone can find out about Claudia and the amazing things she's doing, but also so that we can pass on this information to small business owners, especially Latino small business owners. So major information is that there's a new round of the Paycheck Protection Program, and this is specifically for very small businesses, restaurateurs, basically anyone who's a sole proprietor. If you weren't able to get PPP funding last time because you were told you're a sole proprietor, you don't have any employees, you now have access to this. This is specifically with this window for you so that you will not be crowded out by larger companies. They cannot apply until
right.
March 9th. You can apply in these next few days until March 9th. So please share this information. Again, remember the way that PPP funding works is you can use 60% of it to pay for your payroll, right? And 40% for other expenses. It's a loan, but there is afterwards a forgiveness application. And if you're small enough, it's a very, very easy forgiveness application where the loan is forgiven and it becomes essentially like a grant that you receive to help you with with your expenses, especially your payroll in these tough times. And this has been, again, expanded to small business owners, very small companies. And importantly, there are webinars that are going to be coming out with this information. So you're going to go ahead and repeat a little bit the basics of PPP en español para los latinos que son empresarios o que son dueños de negocios pequeños. Entonces, ¿qué es PPP? ¿Qué es Paycheck Protection
Y tú
Program?
esperas que yo me memoricé todo lo que tú dijiste ahora en inglés. Es increíble.
Okay,
Para
okay.
traducir todo eso.
momentito.
Yo voy a decir más o menos
Lo
lo
básico
básico,
del
lo más
programa.
importante. Entonces, esto sobre el PPP, que es el Paycheck Protection Program, y hay noticias nuevas sobre el PPP, y es importante que ustedes pongan atención a esto porque pueden, hay un préstamo, y este préstamo es para compañías que tienen 20 o menos personas, y el préstamo creo que va a terminar en el día 9 de marzo, así que es importante que sepáis eso. Y para gente que son hispanas, para gente que tiene restaurantes, para gente que tú eres el dueño de su negocio y eres el único empleado, ¿no? Es decir, tú eres el único empleado y eres el dueño, también hay información. Ahora creo que Alex lo que va a hacer es decir hay un webinar. Estos webinars empezaron ayer, pero para ustedes lo importante es que hay mañana, durante el fin de semana, hay webinars que son importantes, que si pueden por lo menos oír lo que están dando la información será importante. ¿Sabes qué? Voy a terminar con todo y después tú dices así no tenemos que partir.
Sí, voy a repetirlo en inglés después de las
Eso mismo. Entonces, las fechas para el webinar, el marzo 5 es a las 3, es para los hispanos, para la gente que habla hispana. Y después creo que Alex dijo que va
sí, vamos a poner en los comentarios y en todayymañana.com vamos a poner el link para registrar para el webinar. Es mañana, el viernes 5 de marzo a las 3:30.
Aquí dice
a las 3 y es específicamente para los dueños de negocios pequeños que son hispanos. Que son latinos.
Sí, y supongo que el webinar quizás será en español, porque solamente es para hispanos, así que esperemos que sea en español.
Sí,
así que ellos
es del Small Business Administration y tiene toda la información del programa que necesitan saber los empresarios y dueños de pequeños negocios que son latinos.
Eso.
Y es mañana. Y vamos a poner el link para registrar, es gratis. El webinar. Vamos a poner el link en los comentarios y después en nuestro sitio de web.
Y entonces el día 6 de marzo es para dueños, es decir, si eres el único dueño en tu compañía y eres el empleado, también hay un webinar que es el día 6, el sábado a las 2 de la tarde. Entonces el día 8, si eres un dueño de un restaurante, a las 3, el día 8, que creo que es el lunes, también va a haber un webinar. Y como dijo Alex en inglés, el PPP es un préstamo y depende después que usted tenga este préstamo, puede ser que tiene que rellenar una forma y con esa forma quizás el préstamo es ¿cuál es la palabra que forgiving?
No se puede pagar el.
Si no hay que pagarlo.
No hay que pagar el préstamo.
No me acuerdo la palabra.
Se convierte en un beta.
Sí.
Sí.
Así que eso es, en fin, para ustedes que hablen español y es importante que vayan al webinar para ver esta información.
Sí, y voy a repetirlo en inglés. I'm going to repeat this in English so that you can also share with Latino entrepreneurs you know. So remember, there is a webinar tomorrow. It's the 5th of March, tomorrow at 3 o'clock by the Small Business Administration. It is for small business owners who are Hispanic, Latino, small business owners. It is free. We're going to put the link to it in the comment section. We're going to put the link on our website, todayymañana.com. If you go there, you can find today's show, and right underneath the video of today's show, you'll find the link to register for this webinar. Please share it with Latino business owners. Saturday, the 6th, there's going to be another webinar at 2 o'clock, I believe it is.
Yes.
In the afternoon, another webinar for small business owners who are the sole proprietor of their business. And again, you can go to all of them. If you are a Latino business owner, but you cannot make the one on Friday, there is another one. You're going to be just as eligible for the one on Saturday. There's another webinar on Monday, the 8th.
The 8th at 3 o'clock.
At 3 o'clock for restaurant tours. Again, please share this information. We'll put the
and actually,
link
it's
to
also
all
for
of
youth
these.
entrepreneurs. So even
Youth entrepreneurs as well as restaurateurs on Monday the 8th. Remember, Monday the 9th is the last day to apply in this special window in which you're not going to be crowded out by larger companies. It's specifically for very small companies in this vein. Some major resources you're going to want to take a look at. I'll share them in English. Xavier will repeat this in Spanish. Major resources that you're going to want to look at, and then we'll put these in the comment section also. Apart from the Small Business Administration, which has a website in Spanish, you should also go to CICville.org. It's the Community Investment Collaborative. They have people there who speak Spanish. They can help you and connect you to the right people. They can connect you also because they are the host of the Virginia Small Business Development Center. And they have people there who speak Spanish as well. They can assist you with the steps of the program. If for any reason you want to reach out to us instead, we are perfectly happy to connect you with the people that you want to talk to. So you can feel free to email us. You can go to emergentfs.com. You can go to todaymañana.com, and there will be a link to connect you there. You can call us at 434-260-1690. The really thing, what we want to do here is we want to share this information. We want to make sure that a lot of Latino business owners, there was some information that was not correctly told to them last time around. They missed out on some of the loans that were available for their small business, especially in the forgiveness side. And we want to make sure we don't miss out on that again, especially since there is a window through March 9th specifically for these business owners.
Entonces, lo que está diciendo Alex es que hay también oportunidades donde pueden ir ustedes a aprender más sobre el PPP. Y uno de ellos es el cic.org. Allí también hay gente que habla español, así que si van allí y necesitan ayuda, ellos están preparados para ayudarlos, para preparar los papeles que son necesarios. Y yo creo que en este round, ¿no, del PPP quieren estar seguros que las compañías pequeñas que necesitan el dinero van a ser las compañías que van a recibir el dinero, pero naturalmente es importante de aplicar, ¿no? Si no manda la aplicación no van a recibir nada. Y la palabra que estaba buscando antes sobre es perdonarse. El PPP se lo perdonarán si pueden enseñar que usaron el dinero para pagar los empleados o para pagar el alquiler, cosas así. Así que es importante, si necesitan esta ayuda, que vayan. Y segundo, si necesitan también, si nos quieren apoyar un poco en nosotros, pueden mandar un mensaje a emergentfs.com o también a todaymañana.com, o nos pueden llamar a 434-260-1690. Así que por favor hagan lo posible de mandar esta información a gente que ustedes conozcan que necesitan la información o necesitan ayuda, y vamos a ver si pueden ayudar lo más posible.
Sí, y podemos conectarlos a los recursos que son en nuestra comunidad, porque hay muchos recursos para dueños latinos en esta comunidad, y podemos conectar a los dueños a estos recursos que son accesibles en este momento.
I wanted to just quickly, I don't know how much time
we got some time.
Because the other day you were on the Jerry Miller show, you seem to come up with these wonderful things. Yeah, I love CVille, yes. So you're talking about inflation, right? And so, one of the issues that I had was with regard to inflation, right? I mean, when you think about inflation, what really causes inflation? Let's just come down to the economic point of view.
Too much money chasing too few goods?
Yeah, in other words, supply and demand, right? So basically it's about supply and demand. So when you think about the inflation, when 2008 hit, right? And the Fed pumped so much money into the economy, as you said. Everybody said, well, inflation is going to get out of control, right? And so you and I have discussed this and say inflation didn't get out of control for many reasons. The only thing that got out of control was the stock market, right? Because the economy wasn't booming, but yet the stock market was. So one can think about, there's the inflationary, right? A lot of people saying, I got this extra money, what do I do with it? In particular, the banks, well, they changed what? They changed stocks, right? So the issue here, though, is a little different. Because we have an economy that's shut down. We have a situation where there's still sectors of the economy that haven't come back. I mean, restaurants, hotels, travel and leisure, that hasn't come back. I mean, it's not even close to coming back. There's still other areas. When you think about, let's put this in a simple way, right? And I'm going to make this quick, right? So let's assume.
Keep going while I eat these alfajores.
I noticed. This is cheating, It's called cheating. So let's say you own a bakery and you make 100 loaves of bread a day. That's what you used to make, right? And each loaf of bread was $1, right? So that was $100 that you made, and between the business rent and paying your employees, it cost $100. Boom, you're good, right? Make 100 loaves, $1. Now all of a sudden, COVID hits. You still have to pay the rent. You may still have to pay employees, right? Because you want to keep them for the future. And now you're sitting there and going, however, because of what's going on, right? I have to be 6 feet apart. I have to have all these other things going on. I can only make 50 loaves of bread, right? But the demand is still for 100. So now you got 50 loaves. You got 100 people wanting it. What do? You say, well, instead of charging $1, I'm going to charge $2. So now you break even, right? You say, okay. Second of all, maybe you only want to charge $1 or $1.50, but the flour that you buy went up in price for the same reason. They're not producing as much, and now you have to buy it at a higher expense. So my feeling is that I think temporary inflation is here, right? We're living through it. I mean, especially in the food industry. Obviously, gasoline is up. I mean, gasoline is up 30%. That's a different story, why that's gone up, right? But in essence, what I'm trying to say is that, yes, is there going to be inflation that is baked in right now because of what's going on? Absolutely. The question is, though, is once the economy gets going at full force. And the second thing, I don't want to deviate too much, but if you remember, the Fed has two mandates. One is control inflation, and two, employment. Make sure full employment.
Make sure people are
They're
employed.
concentrated on what? Full employment. That's the most important thing right now, right? Inflation should be secondary. So my issue is, are we going to see inflation rise dramatically over the next 5 to 10 years? I'm not sure. I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm not sure. I really do think that inflation right now is a short-term event, right? Because even if prices do go up and you start paying that $2 for bread, the chances of that bread coming down to $1 are probably small. May come down a little bit because it's the competition, right? But it'll never come down to $1. But then it stops. It's not going to go from $2 to $4, from $4 to $6, and so on. So I think there'll be inflationary because of what's going on in the country right now, which is basically, you know, a semi-shutdown. There's a lot of demand, right? The supply chain's not quite there yet. But I think once that disappears, I think the inflationary pressures will begin to come down. So I just wanted to voice my opinion
to voice
on that.
your opinion in there. But it made sense. I mean, really the key is always to have, and we talked about this all the time on the show, like prudence. It's really to figure out, okay, what can I do to protect myself? What can I do to protect my family? What can I do to make sure that my savings are growing?
Right.
Right? And so that, granted, even if there is inflation, at least my savings are growing. They're growing so that when I retire, when you reach that point of retirement, or you reach the point where you want to use your savings to fulfill your dream that you've been saving for, you know it's there, and you know that the purchasing power of it is still there, and it's still valid. It hasn't decreased. Your savings haven't decreased in value or been taken away by inflation.
And that's a good point, because in essence, what we're trying to say is that there's always opportunities in the market. And so if you really think that we have an inflationary environment over the next 6, 12, or 24 months, there are opportunities in the marketplace that will protect your savings.
Well,
right?
the place you don't want to be is cash.
Of course.
Right? Because inflation, I think inflation is one of those things that it's a scary-sounding word that really just means that your cash, that dollar, decreases in value. $1 doesn't buy you as much as it used to if there's inflation. And so the solution to that is to turn that $1 into $2.
Right.
Is to grow the number of dollars in your savings account, so that as inflation increases, if it increases, right, and that $1 is worth less, well, now I have $2. So now I feel a little better about the fact that one doesn't buy me as much because I earned more.
Right.
And really that's the purpose. That's really the purpose of investing, right? And I mean, in an ideal world where there's no inflation, you save money and it doesn't matter if it grows or not, right? You say, okay, I saved, X number of dollars over my lifetime, and I'll live off that in the future, but it's worth this. It'll be worth the same in 50 years that it is now. But we don't live in a perfect world with no inflation. There's always some kind, right? So that's the goal that's why you don't just put your money, all your savings in a money market fund, or put all your savings under the pillow.
That's right.
As appealing as, I know sometimes it can be appealing. It's like, oh, look, I have my little treasure chest, and no one can take this money from me.
I can't lose it.
Right? I don't have to put it in a bank. I don't have to put it with, Xavier, where he's eating cookies instead of investing my money.
Whoa,
right?
whoa,
I don't have
where
to
you
do
going with that?
Right? It's tempting, right? But the reason you invest, the reason you go into the market is so that as inflation comes, as dollars are worth less over time, you have more dollars. You've turned your savings into more than you started off with, right? And it brings that peace of mind to know I'm okay. I'm okay. If inflation does come, if Xavier doesn't know what he's talking about, on Today Mañana.
Oh, yeah.
You had to see
I'm going to
this.
start speaking
You
Spanish
had
now.
to see this coming. But if indeed inflation comes, you're protected because you've invested, you've taken the steps to save, and really that's what it's all about.
Well, here's something for you, and I assume that your brothers, my sons also, of course, but your brothers are listening. So on Monday...
Well, I mean, Nick is listening.
I'm sure, yeah, and Michael must be listening. He just doesn't like to ask questions.
He doesn't comment.
Yeah, but I want you guys to think of the following, and because this is going to be our conversation on Monday morning, right? The Federal Reserve has bought more TIPS, Treasury Inflation-Protected Securities, over the last 2 months than they ever did before. So think about that, and we can discuss why on Monday.
Oh, next Thursday's show.
Oh,
The excitement.
No, we don't want to go there.
The excitement of Treasury inflation-protected
This
securities.
is for us, yes.
Yeah, that'll really turn everyone off. We'll have to find.
Turn everybody off.
Yeah, we'll have to have Claudia come back with more sweets. Otherwise, no one will come.
That's
no
right.
one will watch the
No,
show.
no,
They're
they're-
like, this is
they're talking
boring.
tips.
Where's the
What?
food?
Tips. I thought they were going to come with some tips, and then what are they talking about?
What
Inflation
happened?
protected securities?
What
What is
happened? Today, Mañana, what's going on? But man, so next week, hopefully, it was also going to be an exciting
Absolutely,
show. I mean,
yes.
there's so much going on at the market at this point. So much going on in the savings world. So much going on in Charlottesville with Latino entrepreneurs. I can tell you guys, we are lining up the
It's
show
incredible, yes.
schedules for the
Yes.
next few weeks, and it is going to be a blast. We have Latino entrepreneur. We have other entrepreneurs, in the
entrepreneurs
community
also that are just,
that are really
you know,
making
exactly.
waves. Because really, what we want to do is share with you the great stories that are happening, and a lot of these stories are our Latino community.
Yes.
But a lot of them, there's also some great advice to be had from other diverse entrepreneurs in the Charlottesville area. And we're going to be bringing them on. We're going to be asking them about their stories. We're going to be finding out what tips they have, not treasury securities, but actual tips and advice that they can give to people who are aspiring entrepreneurs out there, just to share the news, share the good news, share the advice, share the knowledge that we're gaining with each other, and really help grow this community where everyone can really have a fantastic life and a great nest egg.
That's why it's today, y mañana.
Y mañana.
Today is in English, mañana is in Spanish, so whatever.
We're gonna have
the
both.
important thing is to highlight the hard-working entrepreneurs of Charlottesville, Virginia. And I think that's important.
Absolutely. Well, thank you all so much again for joining us. We're going to be excited to see you next time. Thank you, Judah, for he had his hands full today. He had 3 people, cookies, cakes, pictures on the screen. So all
He's
those
amazing. He's a
beautiful
magician.
pictures.
He's a magician.
He is a
That's what he is.
magician. He is a magician. So thank you, Judah. Thank you, Claudia, for joining us. This has been a fantastic show. I really enjoyed this show. It's been fantastic.
I did. Yes,
and
so did
thank you all for watching. This wouldn't be possible without you. Please comment. Let us know what you think. Let us know if there's people that you would like to see on. I mean, if you know Latino entrepreneurs or other entrepreneurs in the community you'd like to see highlighted on Today Mañana, contact us. We're always available. Put it in the comments. Message us on
Especially
Facebook.
if they, like distill rum, that'd be great too.
That would be even better. I mean, if you can find Xavier will be very happy if you can send
right.
us a rum distillery to
There you
feature
are.
on Today y Mañana. So that's going to be your homework, our audience's homework for the next week. Find us a rum distillery in Charlottesville or Albemarle
Virginia.
County, Virginia,
Virginia.
somewhere where they're in driving distance so
That's
they can
right.
bring the rum. Thank you again so much for joining us. Share the show. Let us know what you think. And until next week, we will see you.
Hasta mañana.